When the HOA president tried to evict him, she had no idea she was walking straight into her own nightmare. Malik Patterson had dreamed his whole life of owning a peaceful, upscale home. Years of long hours, late nights, and sacrifices finally paid off. His reward stood proud in Brentwood Estates, Tennessee, a beautiful two-story brick house with a wraparound porch, manicured lawn, and a backyard that opened to soft evening sunsets. It was everything he'd imagined, quiet, elegant, perfect, but from day one, something didn't feel right. Even as moving boxes filled the driveway, Malik felt eyes on him, peeking from behind curtains, pausing too long on porches, watching him like a stranger in his own neighborhood. No smiles, no greetings. No welcome to Brentwood. Just silence. He told himself maybe they just kept to themselves. But the illusion shattered the next morning with a sharp knock on the door. On the porch stood a woman in her 60s, beige blouse, pearl earrings, HOA pin glinting on her cardigan. Her posture screamed authority, her eyes something colder. "Good morning," she said briskly. "I'm Barbara Whitman, president of the Brentwood Estates Homeowners Association." Malik offered a polite smile and extended his hand. "Nice to meet you. I know who you are," she cut in, her tone clipped as she glanced past him into his house. "I just wanted to go over a few things." She handed him a stack of papers, HOA guidelines. Malik skimmed them, lawn rules, paint colors, mailbox designs. Typical. Barbara's eyes flicked toward the moving truck in the driveway. "We like to maintain a certain standard here. I assume that truck will be gone by evening." "It'll be gone once I'm finished unpacking," Malik said evenly. She nodded, unsatisfied. "And the trash bins, they can't be out before 6 a.m. on collection day." "I noticed yours were out last night." "I didn't put them out," Malik replied. "The previous owners must have." Barbara pursed her lips. "Just be mindful. We have rules for a reason." Then, without another word, she turned and walked away. Malik shut the door, exhaling. Maybe she was just strict. Lots of HOA presidents were. He wouldn't let one uptight neighbor ruin his peace. But over the next few days, it became clear Barbara wasn't just particular. She was watching him. A notice appeared in his mailbox, unauthorized vehicle. It was his own car. Another for improper lawn maintenance. His grass was an inch too long. Then a violation for a porch light, too bright. Even though it was the same one the last owner had dot by the end of the week, Malik had a pile of papers from Barbara. He hadn't seen her since that first meeting, but she made her presence known. Still, he tried to stay calm. Maybe she treated everyone this way. Maybe she'd back off. That hope vanished when he passed a group of neighbors chatting outside one evening. Their voices dropped when they saw him. One woman gave a forced smile. The rest turned away. In the center of them stood Barbara, arms crossed, whispering. Malik didn't need to hear the words to know. This wasn't about HOA rules. It was about him. But if Barbara thought she could scare him into leaving, she was about to learn who she was dealing with. Each morning brought a new letter. New violations. Malik started keeping them all, proof, after 2 weeks. The latest notice crossed the line. Trash bins must be retrieved within 1 hour of pickup. He had done exactly that. Curious, Malik walked through the neighborhood the next morning. By 9 a.m., dozens of bins still lined the curbs, overflowing, unclosed, but none had warnings. Only his. He snapped photos and emailed the HOA board, asking politely why his was the only issue. No reply. 2 days later, Barbara was back. No knock this time. Arms crossed, clipboard in hand. "Something I can help you with?" Malik asked. Her eyes scanned his house before she spoke. "We've had complaints. We'll need proof of home ownership." Malik froze. "Complaints?" "Neighbors have noticed unusual activity, deliveries, different cars." Some are concerned you may be renting. That's against HOA rules. He laughed softly. You're kidding. Her face didn't move. First off, I own this house, Malik said calmly. Second, I've lived here less than a month. Of course, there are deliveries. And those cars? Friends and family. Barbara's lips tightened. We'll still need verification. You can pull the records yourself, Malik said. I prefer if you submitted them directly. And if I don't? Then I'll escalate this to the board. He smiled faintly. Do what you have to do. Then closed the door in her face. That night, she was back at the end of his driveway, whispering to a man with a clipboard. Malik didn't have to guess. She was planning something. The next morning, an email arrived. Notice of violation. Porch furniture non-compliance. Malik leaned back, smirking. 2 wicker chairs and a glass table. Apparently a problem. The next day, lawn violation. His lawn was perfect. He had even edged the walkway the day before. Barbara was trying to bury him in paper dot, so Malik decided to play her own game. That evening, he walked the neighborhood again, noting every real violation. Overgrown lawns, broken fences, trash bins left out for days. He photographed them all and submitted formal complaints. Within 24 hours, Barbara showed up again, this time with Stephen Reynolds, HOA vice president, Mr. Patterson. Barbara began, voice tight. We received your list of complaints. Good, Malik said. Maybe now you'll enforce the rules fairly. Stephen cleared his throat. We determine which issues require action. Not every infraction needs notice. Malik folded his arms. So mine do, but theirs don't. Barbara ignored him, handing over another paper. Final warning. Replace your porch furniture and maintain regulated lawn length. Malik met her eyes. You know, Barbara, I've read every page of your bylaws. Nowhere does it say I need to replace furniture that's perfectly fine. It's a matter of neighborhood uniformity, she snapped. So you enforce rules that don't exist? Stephen shifted uncomfortably. Malik saw the crack, doubt. If I were someone else, Malik said evenly, would we be having this conversation? Barbara's nostrils flared. Stephen said nothing. That's what I thought, Malik said, folding the notice. Do what you need to do? Barbara walked off. Stiff and furious. Malik expected retaliation, but not what came next. A thick envelope arrived the next morning. From a law firm. A complaint filed with the County Housing Authority, accusing him of fraudulent occupancy. Barbara had taken her obsession to a new level. Malik read the claims. Flimsy, baseless, laughable. But he knew her intent. She wanted to exhaust him, to drown him in red tape until he gave up. But she picked the wrong man. That evening, Malik made a call. Hey, Joe, he said. I need a favor. Joe Martinez, his real estate attorney, was a bulldog. And Malik had a plan. 3 days later, the HOA held an emergency meeting. The room buzzed with whispers. Barbara sat tall at the head of the table, mask of authority firmly in place. She cleared her throat. We are here to address ongoing issues regarding Mr. Patterson's residence. I'd like to speak. Malik interrupted calmly. Barbara frowned. You'll have a chance after. No, Malik said, setting down a stack of documents. Now, he stood, holding up the first paper. This, he said, is my deed. Legal, recorded, indisputable. Murmurs rippled through the room. He set it down. This, he continued, holding another, is the purchase agreement for 214 Oakwood Drive. Barbara's eyes flickered. And this, Malik raised the final document. Pausing, is the deed for 216 Oakwood Drive. Barbara's house. The room fell silent. Barbara blinked, her voice cracking. How? Malik folded his arms. That foreclosure you ignored. I was the buyer. Gasps echoed. So tell me, Barbara, who's trespassing now? The color drained from her face. The room shifted. The power she once had evaporated. Malik wasn't done. "And let's talk about this," he said, holding up the legal complaint she filed. "You accuse me of being a fraudulent occupant. Care to explain why?" Barbara stammered. "Several residents. Which ones?" Malik cut in. "Because I spoke to them. None of them recall filing complaints." Murmurs spread again. Homeowners exchanged uneasy glances. Malik laid out the stack of ignored violations he'd submitted. Broken fences, overgrown lawns, trash bins left for days. Yet only I was fined. "So tell me, Stephen, do your rules apply to everyone or just me?" Stephen looked trapped. "I think we should know," Malik said. "This was never about rules. It was about control." Whispers filled the room. Barbara's voice trembled. "I was only trying to push me out." Malik finished. "Yeah, I noticed." An older man in the back muttered, "She tried to evict the man who owns her house." Laughter rippled through the crowd. Malik placed one last paper on the table. "Oh, and Barbara, you're behind on HOA fees. $3,000. "That's a lie." She snapped. "It's public record," Malik said coolly. "I own your house. That debt came with it." Even Stephen looked stunned. "Barbara, is that true?" She said nothing. Malik smiled faintly. "You might want to pay up. Wouldn't want to violate any rules." The laughter this time was loud. Barbara's composure crumbled. "This meeting is adjourned," she snapped, shoving papers into her folder and storming out. But no one followed her. Silence lingered. Then whispers, shifting tones, regret, realization. Lisa Hendricks, a neighbor, looked up. "I didn't know she was doing all this." Malik just gave a knowing look. "Didn't you?" The guilt in the room was heavy. But Malik wasn't here for pity. "Since we're still meeting," he said, "let's discuss real violations." He handed Stephen the list Barbara ignored for weeks. "And I'd like to file a complaint against Barbara Whitman for harassment and abuse of authority."